What in the world did we just witness as we try and figure out what lies ahead for WrestleKingdom? And we really show tonight where the power lies and what struggles truly have begun. What a show! Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good night, konnichiwa to you all. My name is Noah Foster, and I am a simple man. And welcome once again to another NJPW Simple Take, audio only. In this Simple Take, I'll be giving you my brief coverage review recap of NJPW Power Struggle from Osaka, as I come to you literally 1 minute after the official English commentary special ends, 6:32 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, November 7th. Following the conclusion of this, well, anything but ordinary event. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So again, this event, it emanated, of course, from Osaka, and of course was the setup ahead of what may come for our Wrestle Kingdom main event and more. Let's go ahead and talk about what we saw. This morning's show started off with a KLPW 2020 preliminary defense as Zack Sabre Jr. took on Toru Yano in a no corner paths match. And it was everything you would expect from a Toru Yano match. Madness, ridiculousness, antics galore. In the end, Toru Yano, he was getting worked over heavily via the submissions game of Zack Sabre Jr., even after trying to blind him earlier with disinfectant spray for a near 20 count and trying to use the exposed turnbuckle pass in his own advantage. It was really Zack Sabre Jr. who used the exposed corners to his advantage most of this match. But he fell for Yano's tricks where he fought Yano trapped in the barricade, going for near count victory. Somehow Toru Yano, I guess his arms and hands weren't really worked over. He was able to grab Zack Sabre Jr.'s shoes, tie them together in between him and the blue barricade, get out of the hold just enough to literally hobble his way into the ring. And Toru Yano won this match of course, antics and ridiculousness galore. It was a little different from what I'm used to when it comes to the conventional New Japan Pro Wrestling. But so far, KPW 2020 it looks like it was just made and designed for Toru Yano to have his own way and his own showcase. I would not want to be the young lion that is literally running away for their lives from Zack Sabre Jr., who had a pair of scissors, following the fact that he got freed out of the match and was furious. But in the meantime, Toru Yano continues to be your KLPW 2020 champion. I can only imagine who will challenge him next or who Toru Yano will take his fight out on next regarding this trophy. Freaking Yano, God. Guy's annoying. That's all I got to say. All right. As we move on from there, we go into our Never Oboe Championship match as Shingo Takagi once again tests his might, will, strength, and apparently his damaged spine against the King, Minoru Suzuki. And this was everything I expected to be because, again, when it comes to the freaking Never Oboe title, it is a test of a man's will for pain and tolerance for it too. Everything happened here, but more so it was a workover of Shingo Takagi's body as Minoru Suzuki continued to target Shingo Takagi's lower back, slowing down his momentum every possible step he could, trapping him in constant sleeper holds and submission counters, torquing his body at one point in a vicious half Boston crab with his knee over his head, literally bending him in a 45-degree angle. Kudos to Shingo Takagi, though, going blow for blow with the King, including an opening corner turnbuckle exchange. The turnbuckles, by the way, were reapplied, folks. And come this match towards its end, looks like we were going to set up for God-style power driver, gets countered into a backdrop. Both these men go tit for tat, move for move, strike for strike. At one point, Shingo Takagi was literally knocked out. We even got a vicious chair spot to the hindered spine of Minoru Suzuki, and we just listened to the physicality unfold. Pop-up DVD followed by PK, clothesline combination. Both these men going off adrenaline at one point in this match, and then both these men literally fall over. As this match continues, Made in Japan was attempted, but it fails to connect. But in the end, it looked like Shingo Takagi did get the better of the King. I think he might have even knocked him out when he hit him with a wicked lariato to the back of the head and the front of the head, probably juggling the King's brain to the point he was probably concussed on that, but he wanted to make sure he was done once and for all, as it seems he finally hit Last of the Dragon after holding him in suspended animation for a moment. And I'll be darned, I was wrong, but I'm surprised. And kudos, he earned it. He wanted this back. You could see how much he treasures this title and what it stands for. Shingo Takagi is once again your never openweight champion and is now a two-time never openweight champion. When it comes to the never openweight title, it's always a test of a man's sheer will, but it's also a career shortener. There is a reason why very few men, a very unique class of individuals, let alone go after this title and to hold it for more than one defense. I'm a little disappointed that Minoru Suzuki was not able to successfully defend this title one time during this reign since winning it back at Jingu, but I did enjoy this epilogue that was Shingo Takagi basically testing, can he be strong enough to overcome the king? As it seemed like Minoru Suzuki, he only found Shingo Takagi to be weak, but loved beating the hell out of him. There were moments where he was smiling, but so much Minoru Suzuki wasn't really smiling after this match. He was able to leave under his own power, but I gotta imagine he really took a wicked blow towards the end. That was the difference maker here. And now we'll see what's next for Rampage Dragon. What's funny is I thought Minoru Suzuki was going to retain because I thought Shingo was going to be involved in World Tag League. And right now, World Tag League is still yet unannounced, and maybe him and Sonata is still a potential team to be in it. Only time will tell. But as far as what's next for Minoru Suzuki, well, your guess is as good as mine. We've always wondered, what does the King truly want to do in New Japan Pro Wrestling besides bring out his form of pain, which is his pleasure? We're just going to have to wait and see. Tough break for the leader of Suzuki Gun, though. But as always, Casa ni Nare. Meanwhile, we go into a special singles match and a debut singles-wise as Greto Khan, the Dominator. He took on Red Mega Kazuchika Okada, while Will Ospreay has apparently adapted to a more dapper look and apparently now sees himself as a Ric Flair, proving not only can he have the money and the look, but he is the best. And that was the story played here at the end, where you look at this short-term match. Great Khan, he basically proved why he was the dominator here, dominate most of this match for the foreseeable blunt of it, hitting Okada with multiple Mongolian chops at the streaks. It surprises me that Okada did not find like a counter as he heard the streak to the chops most of this time. It wasn't until Okada hit a short term, I would say, Rainmaker, followed by a dropkick, that the match went to his favor. He did apply the money clip once, but Great Khan was able to fight out of it. Again, Great Khan was controlling most of this match. He then applies the claw. Ooh, the claw. But he was not able to pull off the face palm choke slam for the win, and it looked like he was coming towards that at the very end. In the end, though, once again, whether you believe in it or not, and I'm still reluctant to it myself, the money clip, it gives Okada the win via ref stoppage. The Great Okada does not visibly tap out, but apparently succumbs to this Cobra clutch maneuver, and Will Ospreay is surprised by this. But then comes in sarcastically, calls people dipshits because the microphone wasn't working, congratulates Okada for basically beating his test. Because now he can finally get what he believes Okada wants, and that's a one-on-one encounter with him, which in a way Okada also wanted as well, because Okada, he wants to prove why he is the very best, not by the 3,000-pound suit he's wearing, the super fancy gold watch, the dapper young look, and the real ladies man seems literally adopting this idea that he is, woo, the Ric Flair New Japan Pro Wrestling. But it seems like now he wants to prove he is the best professional wrestler. And the only way he can do that is through Okada. He admits to saying that he's been using Okada to garner popularity and star power in the way he feels like it works. But now it seems like we know where this is going, and I've been calling it from the get-go since the Empire formed, despite what Rocky Romero thinks of it. Will Ospreay has challenged Kazuchika Okada for a one-on-one encounter to prove that he is the man. He must beat the man at the biggest stages of them all, WrestleKingdom. Excuse me. As it seems, Okada basically accepts this. This isn't a battle about brotherhood. This is a battle about two men proving who are the best in professional wrestling. And we'll see once for all if Will Ospreay can overcome Okada. But we'll have to wait and see. It looks like the match was accepted. We just got to wait for New Japan to make it official. As we look forward towards this two-day spectacular to start in January. Sorry, I had the hiccups, folks. So I must say, interesting test for Okada. Interesting debut shown by Great Khan. I feel like the fact that he didn't, of course, physically tap out and verbally tap out, that it protects him in defeat. And I could definitely see these two going at it again. I definitely see him being in Ospreay's corner at Wrestle Kingdom. But I'm very so curious to see what's next for Great Khan, what he might pursue. Maybe he can go after never openweight title. Just a thought. It's weird saying never openweight title and not saying Tomohiro Ishii and Hiroki Goto. Just saying. All right. Moving on from there, we are now halfway through this show. And before we go into our clean and disinfectant breaks, I listened to English commentary by Rocky Romero, Chris Charlton, and Kevin Kelly. We learned about the cars to come in Best of Super Juniors 27, which starts November 15th. Talk about an incredible opening day, headlined by Taiji Ishimori, the Bone Soldier, current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, taking on the guy he beat for it, Ticking Time Bomb. Gotta be a favorite in this too to win this thing. Entirely, I mean. Hiromu Takahashi. And it looks like Master Wato and Yoshinobu Kawamaro, the battle of Heel Master versus Grandmaster, will be renewed as well. All the day's cards were announced, and stay tuned. I will be, of course, back later this week with a simple take bracketology on the Best Super Juniors 27 as we prepare to see who can once again reach that echelon class of legends like Jushin Thunder Liger and Kushida and so many others. It's going to be incredible, high octane, fast paced nights of action, 5 matches, of course, each night. You cannot wait to see what these junior heavyweights are going to bring. But we also learned the opening round bracket matches for the Super J Cup that will, of course, happen in December. And talk about a star-studded case of matches to come. While we don't know necessarily all the details going into it, we know what our opening matches are going to be. It's going to be Clark Connors versus Chris Bay, ACH versus TJP, Ray Horace versus Bray Christian, and my personal one I'm looking forward to the most, Leo Rush's NJPW debut against the winner of last year's Super J Cup, El Phantasmo ELP. We are in for some incredible, fast-paced, one-of-a-kind, classic encounters. We got freelancers, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, GCW, and NJPW, and LA Dojo, all represented here, and so much more. Not to mention the returning Ren Narita, who apparently has been on excursion and training, but he will be involved in tag team action as he will be taking on Hikuleo as well. So there's a lot to look forward to across all New Japan Pro Wrestling to come, folks. Junior heavyweight wise and more. Stay tuned. Meanwhile, from there, we go into our cleaning and disinfecting break with the music. You know what I'm talking about. I always enjoy that type of stuff. And we come back, and now we reach the later half of the card to determine case holders and champions. We start off, of course, with Kenta versus the Ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi, the right to challenge for the IWGP United States Championship certificate. And yes, that case came into play here again, too. Poor Tanahashi. Talk about that case, though. Good grief. Tanahashi's head freaking made it now 3 times. A very aggressive, competitive back and forth match with counter for counter submission intuitiveness, with reverse cloverleaf, sling blade counters, even a high fly flow pour off at one point. But I felt like Kenta already got under the Ace's skin in the very beginning, messing with the Ace's hair, because you do not mess with the Ace's hair. Just saying. As this match continued down the line, Kenta found advantage using the briefcase behind the ref's back, and then there was an inadvertent assist by the ref where Kenta, he met the case himself, and even Tanahashi pointed that out. Things really took over, though, when, of course, the Ace put out his traditional moves, the sling blade and that dragon screw. Ouch. And then following that, both met with stiff exchanges, overhand palm strikes that really knocked out the Ace at one point. The Ace coming back with some mega sling blade encounters and more dragon screws, literally pulling off high five flow, locking him in reverse cloverleaf as Kenta tried to counter out of that. Eventually he did, but the Ace just locks it back in place. This match goes down the line. We are literally going counter for counter, pinfall for pinfall, submission for submission hold, but in the end, it was game over. As game over causes the Ace to verbally tap out after you look at the torque being put on his, of course, heavily surgically repaired, surgically worked over shoulder. He had no choice but to verbally tap out to Kenta, and Kenta retains the right to challenge Jon Moxley for the IWGP United States Championship. This was very interesting to me because I really thought that we were going to cross Forbidden Door, and in a way, I guess we still are. But I thought the Ace, who, of course, you have to, of course, what's the word I'm looking for here? Let me get my words right. Basically affiliate with WrestleKingdom. He right now has nothing going into it. And I thought this was his way in. But no, Kenta denies that. And Kenta now basically has, I think, a free ride to challenge Jon Moxley, which I have to imagine is going to happen at WrestleKingdom for the United States Championship. We have yet to see either of these men encounter each other, either of these men talk to each other, promo on one another, as Jon Moxley, of course, has bigger fish to fry with one Eddie Kingston, real talk, at AEW Full Gear, which might I add is literally, as I look at my clock right now, just under 12 hours from now. I cannot wait to be more excited. But let's go ahead and figure out what could be next for Hiroshi Tanahashi. This year at Wrestle Kingdom, he faced Chris Jericho in an exhibition. He would love to face Chris Jericho again at least 2 more times. Does Chris Jericho want to take on the Ace, though, just because? What does Chris Jericho have to gain if he chooses to do that? What does the Ace's plans hold in store for him and Wrestle Kingdom in what really has been a different role, it seems, this year for the Ace when it comes to carrying this company, but still showing and bringing his style professional wrestling and being the Ace of New Japan? There's a lot to think about here, as one man's future is very uncertain, especially Wrestle Kingdom wise. And as far as Kenta, can he become the leader of the United States and get that title finally? Only time will tell. But a very competitive, aggressive, respectable bout among these two. And I really was impressed by this match, just have to say. Now, moving on from there, another battle of briefcases. We go into Kota Ibushi versus Jay White for the right to challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships at Wrestle Kingdom. History dictates this case has never been lost during the road to Wrestle Kingdom in all of its multi-defenses, 16 if you count them all. And that is considering 8 previous G1 Climax winners who have defended this briefcase successfully 2 times following their victory. This match, however, when it comes to Jay White matches, you look for them at one thing: strategy. Because Jay White, the Switchblade, always comes in with a plan. With 2020 being an unprecedented year for change and unpredictability, the question was, could Jay White make history here and be the first to take a G1 Climax's winner's briefcase? Well, let's go ahead and look at this match. As of course, start off with subtle mind games. Jay White controlling the pace of this match, getting in Kota Ibushi's head, literally grabbing the empty briefcase. The Demon had the certificate to begin with. That got under Kota Ibushi's skin. Kota Ibushi, by the way, he was just all business here, constantly going for that key move, the Kamagoye. He just could not hit it. As he did one time pull off a Bumbayet out of nowhere, Jay White, of course, with ghetto distractions, he was able to pull off his power moves, including a ridiculous suplex high on Kota Ibushi's neck, ouch, and head. And then a powerful Uranagi following that. As the match was basically reaching a point of frenzy and panic to Gedo, he tries to come into play. Kota Ibushi takes him off the apron as Kota Ibushi goes for Kamagoye, not once, not twice, 3 times it seems. Finally looks like he's going to hit it towards the end after countering a snap Blade Runner attempt out of nowhere. Just a simple roll through encounter, and with the ref distracted and Gato's help, ladies and gentlemen, Jay White, he says what he says and backs it up 95% of the time, but he also is a man that has made so much history in 3 years. He did it again. I can't believe it. Jay White has dethroned Kota Ibushi of his right to challenge for the titles and now holds the G1 certificate. For the first time in G1 Climax, basically epilogue history, Jay White is the one to take the briefcase away from a G1 Climax winner. And the shock, the dismay, the absolute look of Kota Ibushi's face of just pure devastation was heartbreaking. And Kevin Kelly and Rocco Romero, they just did not know what to say. They were just bloody shots as much as anybody else. I feel like this is the one thing tonight that nobody expected, let alone in 2020 or anything correlated with 2020, that anybody expected to happen during Power Struggle, let alone during Kota Ibushi's year of what really was a story of redemption, it seems. And now he takes another ultimate fall from grace. You figure about him starting off in the Wrestle Kingdom main event and falling out from that and losing, then the following night losing to Jay White, then coming back during the G1 to win it again 2 times now in a row, only to lose to Jay White, everything he has basically built to this point. It was just absolutely astonishing. Now we have to wonder, is there a way Kota Ibushi can find himself towards Wrestle Kingdom? Is this now official? Is this the only defense we're going to see of this case? And did JY basically cement himself to become your next IWGP Heavyweight Intercontinental Champion? We'll have to wait and see. But man, your heart has to go out for Kota Ibushi. And again, very competitive back and forth match, went the distance. I like how all the matches got very good ample time, and each one of them they told their own story. But you want to talk about stories, you want to talk about maybe overkill, but in a way it didn't hurt it. It was kind of the best ending you could hope for it. Tetsuya Naito and Evil's match, it delivered on all of that. I think about how many times these two have faced each other now. Their fourth singles encounter just this year, third one for the gold. And basically it called back to every bit of history you could think of, including Dick Togo trying to come into play with that Garrett, only for Sonata to come in for the save. But Yujiro comes in as well, and we got 2-on-1 assault scenes with Bullet Club trying to get the gold back for their faction any means necessary. And poor Red Shoes, man. All that guy does is take bumps and bumps and bumps. Took like 2 different bumps this time. And for the first amount that I can remember in a long time, even the ring announcer, poor Abe, he friggin' took nasty bumps as well into the barricade as the timekeeper area and turntable got turned over twice after Naito got Irish whip into that blue barricade by Evil twice. Evil, of course, swung for the fences. Dick Togo came into play here too. We had exposed turnbuckle spots. But towards the end, it seems things really picked up when Yujiro and Togo came into play, and Sonata, adorned in all white, I might add, he came into play as difference maker, equalizers, became a 1-on-1 match. This match took on a whole different take and story in itself, as we got low blow exchanges galore, including a pop-up low blow. How's that for a receipt, Evil? Into some near fall encounters. And literally this match, more so, I was just into it for the story, not for the action, because I got tired of these two constantly facing each other. But I was like, no, we cannot have Evil win this. I do not see an all Bullet Club WrestleKingdom main event being a top level draw, especially with these two, JY and Evil. Speaking of which, it seemed like JY and Evil, they were literally going to go at each other, but JY came into play to try and help Evil, it seems, win this. And even off of that, Evil cannot get the job done. As we did have previous 2 Destinos for a near fall, it was a final Destino at the very end, over the 30-minute mark, I might add, that finally cemented Naito tramps over Evil and will enter WrestleKingdom as the double champion. But good Lord Almighty, this match was far crazier than I expected from a storytelling standpoint, as everybody got involved here, it seemed. And as Tetsuya Naito realized now it's over, I finally became Evil. I can finally focus now towards WrestleKingdom and my Destino, who comes out to basically claim that their Destino is his Destino. You remember that quote and how that worked out last time? But Jay White, he says that he's going to take the first night off, and he's only going to literally be involved on January 5th to take the double gold from Naito. But you got to imagine Kota Ibushi is going to do everything he can, especially after finding out what happened during his match, to probably get that case back and kill Jay White. As no words, but constant just walk down, it seems, towards the man himself after running in during the match, it seems, and taking Jay White out of the match too. It just seems like death stare, target sighted, Terminator walking right now. Murder Ibushi is not going to stop until he ends Jay White or gets that briefcase back. I have no idea what hell is about to break loose, but I have a feeling that Jay White just unleashed something worse than what Okada wanted this year at WrestleKingdom that he got. And we're going to have to really see for Jay White's health if he can, I guess, outlast Kota Ibushi in this case. As Tetsuya Naito sent us off happy with the LIJ roll call and the confetti comes down. And regardless, he's going to Wrestle Kingdom to main event. And that was Power Struggle for you in a simple take, simple form, simple summary. I must say, I really enjoyed this show, and we really are planting the seeds of what's to come at Wrestle Kingdom as far as maybe the top level storyline. Will Jay White defend that briefcase the first night against Kota Ibushi? Will New Japan officials make one last defense of either of these briefcases happen? How will Jon Moxley versus Kenta be cemented, or does Kenta still have one other barrier in his way because he did drop other losses during his G1? Will Minoru Suzuki get back in the never openweight title picture? Is he even conscious at this point, realizes what happened? And who will step up to Shingo for the neverweight title? Can Okada beat Ospreay again. Will Ospreay finally overcome Okada on the grandest stage of them all, cementing himself as the best professional wrestler of the world and furthering his empire? What's next to come for the empire? So many questions like this and more await to be found out, as we have a 7-day reprieve now until New Japan Pro Wrestling live action picks up. Well, it's only 6 with New Japan Strong, but also, of course, come the 15th, the Best of Super Juniors officially starts as we figure out, I'm sure, our IWGP Junior Heavyweight and Heavyweight matches to come at WrestleKingdom as well. Not to mention, we still need to know our teams for World Tag League, which I gotta imagine is going to come before the start of Best of Super Juniors. I know, according to my NJPW discussions forum on Twitter, shout out to all those great people there. We talk about a lot of teams. We know Finjuice won't be involved since Juice is back in NJPW Strong. GOD has to be involved. We could see some interesting tandems reform. We could see Toru Yano and Ishii. Good Lord, help us. GBH might be involved. Tenkosi might be involved. I don't know what we might see from Suzuki-gun, though. Maybe Minoru Suzuki and Dukai be an interesting hybrid. Would you see Gato get involved with somebody? Maybe Gato and Evo can take this avenue now. And what's Evo's future when it comes to Bullet Club? That's even a bigger question. Is there a Bullet Club Civil War, or did Evo just play his last card? All I gotta say is this, ladies and gentlemen. Power Struggle was definitely a show to remember. It left its mark, and New Japan Pro Wrestling continues to bring us history, unpredictability, and leave us wanting more. I cannot wait to see what comes next in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I would like to thank you all for tuning in once again to another Simple Take as we look towards what's next to come at New Japan Pro Wrestling. Thank you again for tuning in. And if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man, lifelong fan of wrestling. So follow me. Twitter, Instagram, PlayStation, N Foster 1916 YouTube channel. Just look up N Foster 1916. I'm learning a whole about the Zoom sharing thing because my camera wasn't working, by the way, in case you're wondering. Also, follow me on Twitch, N Foster 191625. I'll be playing games ahead of Full Gear and doing simple chat and just talking wrestling as well. There'll be some more stuff in wrestling and other wrestling specials to come too across YouTube. If you haven't figured it out by now, you know what I'm about. Support No DQ, support WrestleJoy, support my friends and all their forums. Greg Cherry Brand, Jeff Meacham Network, my friend Sydney and her podcast into Stratosphere, affiliated with the Bullet Cast, support Team All Elite, support We Want Wrestling Talk. And as always, folks, support Empire Wrestling, that's at the heart of it for us as fans. As always, I like to close. Support your wrestling outlets, big and small. Let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, authentic, unscripted, unrestricted wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, I thank you so much again for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell, no next video goes on this channel. Hit the subscribe button. Help me keep growing this channel. Shout out to all 170 of this movement, this fun YouTuber, and just general creator's journey is not ending up anytime soon. Various other content to come too. Until then, I'm sleeping ahead of AEW Full Gear. I could not be more excited for this pay-per-view. So many podcasts to listen to, other predictions to get to, and of course, the buy-in to wait for as well. So take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families. Enjoy wrestling. There's more of it now than ever. Find some promotion, somebody, just something that can connect with you. Make a friend or rivalry out of it too. And until next time, I just hope you all stay positive, be safe, have a wonderful day or night, wherever you might be. Go Kigenyo, and of course, sayonara. Arigato.